Mr. President, thank you very much for joining Athens News Agency, the official agency of Greece. European Parliament, beside us, discussed a new package for investments in Europe, the New Deal for Europe. What's your opinion? It will be effective?
I think we have to see two things. Firstly, we need investment, especially in the south of Europe, and we have a lack of investment because banks are under stress. Small, medium-sized enterprises have no access to loans or even have no ideas how to develop. So we need, on the one side, entrepreneurship and projects. On the other side, we have to rethink how this money will be established. It's apart from the EU budget, apart from the European Investment Bank, private money, and then with a leverage via European Investment Bank, it should create 315 billion. And if you take a leverage with a multiplier 15, you have to take projects which could be financed in the private sector as well. And that's my concern, that with these circumstances, we will not create this kind of growth we really need. We will only finance things which could be financed on private markets as well.
I see some doubts concerning the point that the German will be again called by the Europeans to pay the package.
I think it's not a question whether the Germans pay it or anyone else. It's a question whether you make a leverage with the multiplier 15, which means a bank is only allowed to multiply with 12, according to Basel III rules, for example. And therefore, it will be only AAA projects. But for AAA projects, we don't have a lack of money. And that's my problem. So we should invent ideas where really additional money is brought to member states for private investments. And that is what we have to work out now in the process of the European Parliament, as this proposal has to be adopted by us.
You are Vice President in the most crucial commission of the European Parliament. Concerning Greece, quite now I see some difficulties concerning the relations between Greece and Troika. What is your opinion?
I think a member state who is in a program like Greece and is falling in love with the Troika does something wrong. So it's normal that between Troika and a program country there are frictions and problems. On the other hand, I think what we have seen now is that Greece delivered a lot. We saw growth in this year, although, for example, Germany has a reduction of growth. Greece has the highest increase of growth. Greece won a lot of competitiveness, and if we can activate now capital for investments, all these measures will create the benefit Troika has foreseen it, and then I think these frictions will come down. The main problem for the moment I see is that Troika asks for more time having influence on Greek development, and Greece, of course, says after 5 years or 4 years in the program, we want to get rid of it. And that is something we have to conclude very quickly, because I understand that Greece politics and the state of Greece now thinks 4 years, 4.5 years is enough. So we want to stay on our own legs and not without the support of Troika and all the influence of Troika.
Samaras government, Greek government, wants a fiscal line support to support the Greek economy after the exodus of the memorandum. Is it easy to achieve it?
You know, if you get a direct budgetary help, you have to accept that someone is taking care on that. So you can't get rid of the Troika on the one hand and asking for money. Both is linked together. But if, for example, this 315 billion program of Jean-Claude Juncker gives a kind of support for some areas, not for all them, Samaras foresees it, but for some, it reduces the power of Troika as well. And therefore we have to find a balanced approach. But I think we're on a good track achieving that.
Concerning, again, Samaras government, many Greeks have the feeling that Merkel's government does not support quite now the Greek government with all its means. Do you share this feeling, or?
Absolutely not. I think the German government has delivered a lot of help during the time and a lot of support, not only on money or fiscal issues, but as well on direct support. You know, we had a task force, or we still have a task force in the German government who is trying to bring German investors to Greece, and a lot of projects have been established, and that are those cornerstones which can be the starting point for development, economical development in Greece. So therefore Germany helped from the early beginning till now and will continue helping. But sometimes there's the impression that the hand who gives aid is not only a helping hand, but you can trust the Germans. We are really interested on a recovery of Greece, and we are spending a lot of money, spending a lot of ideas, spending a lot of time to assist our Greek friends to have progress.
But in the same time, I think that in Greece there are a lot of anti-German sentiments. Have you any idea for this, and how can you explain that?
Yes, I saw it as well, because I'm more than once a year in Athens and speak with my friends, political friends and private friends. I have a good picture of what's happening in Greece, and I really appreciate how the society, the state, or the people in the state have overcome all these problems, because you had a lot of tensions inside the society as well, and that was well received in Germany. But on the other hand, of course, we have a history with some burdens, especially Germany and Greece, and I know that especially in times of need, these questions come up, and I hope we will overcome that. On the other hand, if you ask German tourists, for example, who spend a lot of money in Greece, they say about the friendship, the hospitality, that is what we really like, and you will never find somewhere else outside Greece, and that is well received in Germany as well. So we have both sides, the demonstrations in Athens in front of the parliament on the one side, but on the other side this hospitality to Germans as well, which we see all over Greece, and I think that is then a good picture.
That's correct. But in Greece there is also a political instability. You know the developments. Many people say that we shall have elections on March, on February. Have you any opinion about the Syriza party, the opposition party, and what will be if Syriza party will take the government?
So firstly, the question has to be answered whether the parliament itself can elect the president or not.
Of course.
The threshold is very high.
Have you any information inside?
No, but I know that the threshold is very high, and the coalition does not have the votes to overcome the threshold. So if that is not going to happen, automatically there will be elections in Greece. But to be serious, when we see what Syriza is delivering here, we don't see anything. They're not delivering, they're only making noise. But with noise you don't solve problems. And to promise the people in Greece that with Syriza everything would become better, that's wrong. That's wrong. Of course, Troika, member states, European Union can't deliver more. We have given what is possible to the actual government and even to the Papandreou government before. There is no option to change the whole system. And what Syriza is doing here is not serious, to promise something which can't be kept, and that would create a lot of mess and disappointment in Greece. So I hope that the European elections have not been so bad for Neo-Demokratia, so I hope for national elections, if they will come, if the parliament fails voting for a president, that people will remind, yes, we had a hard way to go, but we now see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we would destroy this light if Syriza comes into power.
And a last question, Mr. President. National debt is the main problem for Greece. Do you believe that German government, Merkel government, will support any Greek government to overcome these difficulties with the debt?
We have done already a lot. You know, there was a debt cut with more than 100 billion euros a few years ago. If you look how we have prolonged the loans, how we have reduced the burden of interest rates, we have really delivered a lot. So that are conditions you will never find on the markets, neither for Greece nor for any other state in the European Union.
Not for Germany also.
Well, we have good conditions as well, but that's another story. So we have delivered a lot. And of course we need growth in Greece for employ people, for employing young people, for creating jobs all over the country, and of course for reducing the debt burden. And these are the measurements we have to take now, that investment is really taken, that banks are delivering loans again, that the private households bring their money back to the banks and not save it wherever in the house. And and if we solve these problems and bring faith to the economy and to the state back for investors, then I think we are on a good track. And with this growth, the burden of the debts will decrease automatically.